Okay, so thank you for your answers. What would you suggest the county do to help new businesses navigate the cumbersome permitting process to get up and running faster? Do I need to repeat the question? Are you clear? Okay.
I think there's already incentives, if I'm not mistaken, in place. And like Navy Federal, for instance, if I'm not mistaken, when they came, they got a tax break for creating jobs. And I think continued doing that. And, you know, we probably need to look for other avenues like, you know, actually, we don't want an automobile factory here. You know, but any kind of factories or something like that that creates jobs and good health insurance that could provide income and health insurance for families throughout. You know, I think that would be excellent there to go in a different avenue because, you know, construction over the years, around Christmas time, everything shut down and you didn't start back to work till January. So, you know, I think some kind of factories that creates a good environment for health insurance and longevity.
So glad you asked this. So I own 3 laundromats. One of them is in Pascagoula, Mississippi. When we bought the laundromat in Pascagoula, Mississippi, I got an email that said, welcome to doing business in Mississippi. Here's a link, hyperlinked, with a phone number and an actual human to talk to in every single department that I needed to contact to do business in Pascagoula, Mississippi. The water utility company down to the cable company was listed there. It was so easy. Y'all, we are behind Pascagoula, Mississippi, and that is a real life story. Also a real life story from permitting and zoning. We were delayed, I mentioned earlier, 13 weeks for an interior remodel on a building that I owned. I still had to pay the mortgage. I still had to pay that outrageous insurance price. And the whole time it sat there empty because somebody was on vacation. Oh, I didn't see that. Oh, I'm so sorry. You have to wait another 2 weeks. We got held up in zoning and planning because they asked us, well, are you going to color in the directional arrows in your parking lot? Yes, great, write that down and you can come back in 2 weeks. Meeting after meeting, we had that held up. We lost out, I think we did the math today, on $150,000 in that 2 months. Somebody in here, I'm sure, does tax accounting and you can see what that would add up for the county. And we're missing that all the time because of the inefficiencies in permitting and planning and zoning. We've got to make it more efficient. We have to make it with less bureaucracy, and we've got to automate our systems. And I am committed to doing that because I have lived that nightmare as a business owner, and I know that we have other people who are giving up on doing business in the county because it's too hard.
I mean, one easy solution is we evaluate the staff that we have and determine, just like the city of Pensacola did, do we have the staff in place to deal with the volume of permits we have coming through the door? And I can tell you, talking with developers and business owners, we don't. So we need to take a hard look in the mirror and say, do we have some departments that are heavy on administrative staff and others that are not? Especially when we're front-facing with business owners and the citizens of this county trying to do business. And I think if we looked at what's going on with business permitting and building inspections and permitting for any development, we're going to see that we don't have enough staff on hand to handle the number of permits that are coming through the door. And we need a place for people to go and see somebody and talk to somebody about the issue, somebody that a number they can call, someone's going to pick up and walk them through the process. But again, we got to look in the mirror first and determine, do we actually have a need? My gut feeling is, yes, we do. And you then figure out a way to fix the problem.
You know, the permitting issue has been going on in this county for years and years and years. You know, coordinating between different agencies. You know, it is important that when you are building a home or a business or a building, that, you know, that we do take the time to make sure that we're getting it right. We certainly don't want to put something out there that isn't hasn't gone through the permitting process and been approved. Certainly, transparency on that is important. Make sure that we are communicating not only with the builder, but also with the homeowner or the business owner. Sometimes the permitting process gets held up because the builder is not the most honest person in the world and is not informing the homeowner or the business owner what is going on. But transparency, certainly, and I do see things in Escambia County are getting better. Certainly, the automated process has to happen. We will get into the 21st century eventually, and we will make it better. Giving incentives, for larger projects, and making sure that they're getting through the permitting process when they're bringing things to the county, bringing more affordable housing, things like that. And certainly, we will work with them to get that process moving quicker.
The system's broken. As a former owner of Paradise Home and Investment Properties, I know it's a terrible mess. I believe that one of the short-term solutions is we've got to invest in our staff that's working on those permits. We've got to make sure that we have a process in place that's not as cumbersome as it is right now. You know, we like to think that the City of Pensacola and Escambia County has the best of the best employees. And I believe that. But also our employees must keep growing. They must be able to go out and understand what the next cutting edge is to really have excellent abilities for people to get permits just like that. I don't mean be irresponsible or short. I just think that there's a better way, and we haven't found it yet. I love that our mayor travels to DC and elsewhere to see other cities as to how they're doing things. That'd be a great place to start. I think county commissioners could benefit from that too. I think we just need to acknowledge we have a problem, hire the right people to help solve the problem, and then to also make sure that everybody at City Hall and the county are at their best at getting people through the permitting process.
Sorry, I'm not a business owner. Can't speak intelligently on this. I'm a servant by nature. But you heard from a business owner that gave a great idea. That sounds like subject matter expert to me. Bring us up to speed. We have great technology in the world. I mean, up until maybe a year and a half ago, I had to go to my water company to pay the water bill. There's parts of the world you can pay with a thumbprint. Where are we at? Where are we at in society where in Pensacola to where we can't be technologically advanced enough to have this streamlined process? You want to talk about hire new employees? I don't think that's the answer either. I just saw the budget. I just saw how much we're spending, and I compared that to the Gulf Coast budgets and the population. I don't know if spending more money is right, but I do know holding the personnel accountable and getting them the technology for the permits to get it streamlined faster, and then also the training to get them up to speed with that new technology and how to handle those permits.
One of the greatest qualifications of being a county commissioner is having owned a business. My wife and I have owned 6 small businesses in California and Florida, and we've owned small properties and investment properties as well. When I owned my business here in Pensacola, before we sold it right after the Great Recession, I had a major issue with a tenant who lost a license. It was very difficult to duplicate or get another one. I had to go see the county. It was before I was ever affiliated with the county. I was very impressed with how quickly they turned it around. Fast forward a few years, I get on the county commission. There were still some antiquities. For example, they were using fax machines to give permits. If you were going to pull a permit to install a dishwasher, if you're a plumber, you had to fax it in, then you had to bring a check. You couldn't pay over the phone. A lot of those things we've eliminated, right? There's a lot of those things that have been eliminated. We hired a brand new guy in the building services department, Tim Tolbert. He's a rock star. But in a big organization like the county with lots of development, there's always going to be issues. And I can tell you, it's never fast enough for the developer, and it's way too fast for the residents. Just drive through District 1. Those guys can put up a subdivision like you can't believe, or an apartment. It'll never be perfect. We have great employees, very dedicated at work, but we're always looking to improve, and we are engaged in continuous improvement. Thank you.